Hello student, welcome in your social science class. As you know that in the previous chapter 16 of civics chapter, our constitution, we discuss about the elements and structure of Indian constitution. You know very well our constitution framer had tried to transfer the ideas given in the preamble into reality. Okay, they try their best to transfer the ideas given in the preamble into a reality, and then that would not be possible without guaranteeing more fundamental rights to the people of India. So today we will discuss about chapter 17, fundamental rights, fundamental duties and directive principle of state policy. First of all, we will discuss today fundamental rights. Okay, without fundamental rights, we are not able to enjoy the provision given in the constitution. Fundamental rights to the people of India without any discrimination is provided by the constitution. You know very well, after a long period of slavery and exploitation at the hand of Britisher, people aspired for a life where the mind is without fear and head is held high. Education would be free for all, where citizen has the freedom of religion, faith, or where the main aim of the government would be welfare of the people, especially the downtrodden. Downtrodden means ST and SC. So student, in this chapter we will study about those provisions of Indian constitution which help us to achieve our goal and fulfill our inspiration. So let's start. Fundamental rights. Beta, this is acknowledgement which you have to also prepare in your art and integration activity. Okay, you can see here how you have to prepare acknowledgement. So let's start. Know about rights. First of all, we will discuss about fundamental rights. Definition of fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the essential human rights that are offered to every citizen irrespective of caste, race, creed, place of birth, religion or gender. These are equal to the freedoms, and those rights are essential for personal good and society at large. There are 6 fundamental rights. First right, right to equality. Second, right to freedom. Third, right to freedom from exploitation. Right to freedom of religion. Fifth, cultural and educational rights. And sixth, right to constitutional remedies. One by one, we will learn about each. First of all, today, we will discuss about right to equality. Okay, right to equality. It means first, equality before law. Article 14 of the Constitution guarantees that all the citizens shall be equal, protected by the law of the country. Equality here, equality before law. Equality before law means under the article of 14, the constitution provides the guarantee to all the citizens that there should be equality. Okay, there should be no discrimination and all the people are equal in the eyes of law. Okay, second point, social equality and equal access to public areas. Article 15 of the Constitution states that no person shall be discriminated on the basis of caste, color, language. Every person shall have equal access to public places like public park, museum, well, bathing ghats and temple. Earlier, such type of freedom, such type of equality was not given to the Indian. Okay, there was discrimination at every place. People were not allowed, especially the people who were downtrodden, ST and SC, they were not allowed to join public places, museum, wells, bathing ghats or temple. They were not allowed to enter in the temple. Okay, but now there is equality. There should be no discrimination on the base of caste. Every caste, people of every caste can join park, museum, public place, bathing ghat and temples. However, the state may make any special provision for women and children. For women and children, for the development of women and children, government can take special measure for the development of children and women. Equality, right to equality. Further, equality in the matter of public employment. You know very well, at the time of British rule, Indian people were not allowed to join high post, or they were not recruited at high post. You have read in 11th chapter of history, 1857. British never recruited the Indian soldier at high post, and very less wages were given to them. But right to equality, under this right, Article 16 of the Constitution lays down that state cannot discriminate against anyone in the matter of employment. All the citizens can apply to the government job irrespective of caste and other cases. Fourth point, abolition of untouchability. Untouchability, now it is a crime, it is an offense. Untouchability is declared offense or crime by the government. According to Article 17, the Constitution abolishes the practice of untouchability. Earlier time, there was discrimination on the base of caste. Okay, the people who were belong to low caste like SC and SC, they were discriminated by the higher so-called caste, as you studied in the 5th class English chapter. Okay, people discriminate on the base, other higher class people discriminate the lower class people and they consider them untouchable. Okay, Harijan, Gandhi ji called them or given the name them Harijan. Okay, they were considered untouchable by the people of higher class, and they were not allowed to use public places like well, temples, okay, such type of park and museum. And it considered that if they will touch the public place, they will use the public place, okay, then they considered untouchable, or that public places was prohibited for the scheduled caste. And now it is abolished, it is banned by the Indian government. According to Constitution, such type of untouchability is abolished by the Constitution. Okay, it is, if anybody practice untouchability, then it is considered, it will be considered crime, and government will take reasonable step, or it will be considered punishable act by the law. Next, abolition of the title. Abolition. Now the titles are not provided by the government. Okay, according to British government, or at the time of British government, titles were provided to the Indian people. Okay, this directly discrimination or partiality on the base of a person to person or caste to caste. Like British government provide Guru Ravindranath Tagore to Ravindranath. The name was only Ravindranath, but British government gave him title Guru. Okay, and name was Chotu Ram, but British government title Sir Chotu Ram. Okay, that provide the high position. Okay, some people, British government provide high personality and they provide the titles. Now providing title is banned by the Indian Constitution, and it is a crime, and nobody can consider titles, or because this is abolition. Okay, and no, it is crime, and citizen of India cannot accept titles from a foreign state, and earlier British government provide titles to the Indian. Now next, right to freedom. Right to freedom, how we are free. Okay, first, freedom of speech and expression. Okay, we are free to express ourselves, we are free to speak which we like. Okay, which make this right make us enable an individual or person to participate in public activity. Okay, the phrase freedom of press has not been used in Article 19, but freedom of expression included freedom of press. Freedom of press, now media is free. Okay, earlier time, British time, media was not free. Media only published the news that were in the favor of British government. Okay, but media was not free to criticize the British government, but now media is free to criticize the policy of a government. So we are also free to speak, okay, and express ourselves. Second point, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. Without arms means weapons. Arms means here weapon. We are free to assemble. Assemble means together. Okay. We are free to assemble on which that state can impose reasonable restrictions. Now we are free to assemble peacefully at any place, but state can restrict this, okay, reasonable restriction in the interest of public order and sovereignty and integrity of the country. Okay, but we are free to assemble without any arms. It is our right to freedom. Next है right to form association and union. Earlier time, we were not, the right was not given by the British government or other Mughal, at the time of Mughal. We were not free to assemble any place, and we were not free to form association or unions. Now there are many examples that these time there are many association like teacher, labor, and doctors. Every sphere there are associations are there. So we are free to form association or unions. This is our right to freedom. Next, right to move freely toward the territory of India. We are free to move any part, any state of India. Though reasonable restrictions can be imposed on this right in the interest of public, general public. For example, a restriction may be imposed on the movement of travelling as so to control the any problem is there, epidemic is there. Now epidemic means koi mahamari. Now coronavirus is there. Okay, so government has imposed the restrictions to move one place to another place. So this way government can restrict us to move one place to another place. Clear? Next, freedom to reside and settle any part of country. Now there is a freedom. We can reside means we can live, or we can settle any part of country. Suppose we are living in Haryana, Punjab, and we want to start a new business or new trade. We want to settle in a Jammu Kashmir, okay, or Himachal Pradesh. Then you are free to settle any part of a country, and you can start any new business sector there. Okay, it can be also restricted. Government can impose reasonable restriction, okay, in the interest of general public or protection for the scheduled caste, because certain safeguards are provided to them, okay, to protect them. Otherwise we are free to reside any part of our country. Next, freedom to practice any profession. We are free to practice any profession or to carry any occupation, trade or business. Earlier time, British government forced the people that farmer's son cultivate the land. As his father was cultivated the crop, cultivated the land, so his son will also cultivate the land. Cobbler's son will be cobbler also. Okay, people that time, people were not free to start a new business or new trade. But now our constitution has provided right to freedom. Now we are free to practice any profession or any occupation or trade which we want. Right against exploitation. The third right is right against exploitation. You can see the picture. Here is exploitation and this is not now. Right against exploitation. Prohibition of traffic in human being. Earlier time, it was not the right was not provided by the British government or Mughal time. Okay, the people were the permanent slave of landlords. All the forms of the forced labor and begar without payment. Begar means without payment work without payment. The abolition of traffic in human being. Traffic of human being means manushya ka vyapar. Okay, and now it is banned by the constitution. And begars mean work without payment is not allowed to the anyone. Second, abolition of employment of children below the age of 14 years in the dangerous job like factories and mines. It is prohibited that children who are below the age of 14, they are not allowed to work in factories, mines, okay, which are dangerous for their health. Next, begar practices in the past was practiced continue was in the past by the landlords. Landlords has been declared, now it has been declared crime and punishable by the law. Trafficking in the human for the purpose of slave trade. Slave trades, they purchase the person, okay, individual, and they keep the person for whole life, and without payment he work for his master or landlords. It was called slave. Now it is banned by the constitution and it was punishable. Next, right to equality, that right to freedom of religion. Okay, now we are free to profess any religion. You can see the symbol of every religion in the picture. It means we are free to profess or practice any religion. But at the time of British rule, we were not free. We were forced by the British government to change our religion into Christianity. Right to freedom of religion. First point, freedom of conscience and right to profess, practice and propagate any religion. We are free. According to the constitution, all the religions are equal before the state and no religion shall be given preference over the others. Clear? Citizens are free to preach. Preach means अपने धर्म का प्रचार करना, प्रैक्टिस फॉलो करना, प्रोपोगेट प्रचार करना. Clear? Any religion of their own choice. First, religion communities can set their charitable institution for their own. Now, every religion is free to set up their charitable trust or institution of their own. Activities in such institution which are not religious are performed according to by the law and laid down by the government. Now we are free to profess practice and propagate any religion. Second point, freedom to every religion institution to manage its affair in the matter of religion. Everybody is free to manage its religious affairs, and he or she is free to profess or manage its religious institution on. Third, state will not collect any tax for the promotion of any particular religion. Earlier, in the Mughal time period, a special tax was imposed on Hindu for the promotion of their religion. If Hindu people travelled to their religious place and they used the road, as you know very well that the roads were introduced by the Mughal period, okay, Mughal emperor, so they collect the tax from the Hindu religion for the maintenance of their religion, and the name of the tax was jizya. Now it is banned by the constitution. State will not collect any tax for the promotion of any religion. Fourth point, no religion institution can be imparted in any educational institution which is wholly or partially maintained out of the state fund. नो रिलीजन इंस्ट्रक्शंस, कोई भी रिलीजन इंस्ट्रक्शन कैन बी इम्पार्टेड, किसी भी प्रकार की कोई भी रिलीजन इंस्ट्रक्शंस नहीं दी जा सकती किसी एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन में, जबकि वो एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन क्या हो, यदि वो सरकार के द्वारा चलाया जा रहा हो, तो ऐसे किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूशन में धार्मिक शिक्षा नहीं दी जा सकती. नाउ नेक्स्ट, कल्चरल एंड फंडामेंटल राइट्स. Cultural and educational right. Cultural and educational right, you can see now from the picture it is more clear that every person is free to get the education and every person is free to promote his or her culture. Cultural and educational right, according to Article 29 and 30. Any community which has a language and a script of its own has the right to conserve and develop it. It is guarantee to the preserve, maintain and promote one's culture and language. Now, everybody is free to preserve, maintain or promote his own culture and language. The minority will be given assistance by the state to establish and administer educational institution. Okay, here the minority, government provides some help to manage their affair for the educational institution to preserve and develop their own culture. First point, according to Article 29, any community which has a language and a script of its own has right to conserve and develop it. Second point, the minority. Minority means the people who are less than in number, जो संख्या में कम होते हैं, like Sikh, Jain, Muslim, Buddhism, Christian, Parsis. These are minority community, and Hindu in India majority community. All minorities, religions or linguistic can set up their own educational institution to preserve and develop their own culture. Okay, like in Ratia, there is Akal Academy is there. Akal Academy is there to promote their culture, to promote their religion, because in Haryana Sikh are in minority community, so they have right to preserve their culture, language and scripts, and they can also run educational institution to manage their religious affair. Clear beta? Now, right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies empowers the citizen to move a court of law in the case of any denial of fundamental rights. if anybody try to violate the fundamental rights of other which are provided by our constitution, he or she can go to court, can to seek the justice, to get the justice. It's clear beta. Constitutional remedies means if the fundamental rights of a person is prohibited, it that violated by any institution, any person or any institution, that he or she, if a citizen feels that his fundamental right has been violated, okay, by an executive order, it means by any law, by any person, by any institution, he or she may request to the Supreme Court or High Court to issue the appropriate writs. Okay, writs mean here legal notice for the restoration of his right. Restoration mean to get again his or her right. Clear beta? The procedure of asking the court to preserve or the safeguard the citizen fundamental rights can be done in various ways. By various ways, Supreme Court help the person whose right has been violated by anyone, or many ways Supreme Court can protect the fundamental rights of the people, like writs, legal notice. These are many rights. Writs are there. Habeas, okay, that is given in your book. 5 writs in your, that do you know? You can read these writs. Time to time these writs are issued by the Supreme Court or High Court, okay, to restore the rights of the people. Clear beta? These are the writs. There are so many writs in the that issued by the Supreme Court to help the people to seek their to seek the justice and to restore their fundamental rights. If any query, then you can ask. Clear? And you have to read the lesson Fundamental Rights. Thank you. Have a nice day.